It is Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY. There's a lot going on this weekend. As things are getting there, starting things are slowly opening up. More people are getting vaccinated on all that, and so things are starting to open up. Things are coming up this coming month, next month, but a lot going on this weekend. So let's get right into it with Gus Gordon on State of the Arts. How you doing, Gus?
I'm doing great, Kevin. I'm back here in the theater, as you can see.
Yes, very
I
nice.
wish I could say it was just I'm doing something, fun like being in the theater. But the truth is, my office can't be used right now because there's too much construction on our lobby. So I had to
Yeah.
move somewhere where I was quiet.
Yeah, seeing all the I saw a little bit of it firsthand when I was there 2 weeks ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's some pictures up on Facebook of you guys are really making progress on the Hoagland there. A lot is going on,
We've
so
been very
very cool.
fortunate during this pandemic. We applied for several grants that we were lucky enough to receive that were helpful for our construction projects. We've been working on this, what we call our Go Green campaign, for a few years now. And what we're trying to do is update a lot of our old HVAC, boilers, air conditioners, chillers, air handlers, things like that, which is enormously expensive. But we've been very fortunate to have a few great donors and many great donors and a few good grants that helped us get going on this. So while it's relatively quiet here, we're doing some majorly disruptive jobs right now. One is this big air handler that helps the first floor and second floor, and it's torn up the lobby. So now is the time to do that, as opposed to when we have hundreds of people coming through the doors, hopefully by
Yes.
September, October, by that time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that will be good. That was all going to be uh, taken care of. As we said, things are getting back. They're starting to open up, but there is still a lot going on. In fact, there's a couple things going on this weekend. Several different theaters. The Murder Mystery, which is the dinner theater, that's premiering tonight. And that is over show ticks. And you also can do a live portion of it. There will be people here. Here is in at the Hoagland, but they will be live in costume, and they will be able to you will be able to talk to them live as you guess who the murderer might be.
That's great. That is
Yeah.
such a creative use of the new technology. It's one thing just to tape a show, but then to have that interactive element that will add a lot of fun to it.
Yes, it will absolutely, and it is. And on Wednesday was the deadline to get in your orders for the food from La Piazza, at least with the combo ticket. I'm sure you could still go there
Oh,
and
sure.
get some food before the show tonight. But so you will still be able to get that combo ticket for next weekend as well, because that is when Jerk Shop Go will be partnering with their food as well, and then of course drinks from Anvil and Forge. So all that is going on. That is available to be streamed. Also, this weekend, well, tomorrow actually, a fundraiser for the Springfield Muni over the summer theater. They are going to be doing a virtual trivia night. Jim Leach will be the MC of that, and I believe you still are probably able to sign up for a couple slots there. Even if you don't have a table, you might get put with somebody and make some new friends and figure out some trivia together.
Folks who participate in trivia contests really have it down pat. It
Yeah.
is so much fun to watch the groups that come together, great friends getting together, and they all have their specialties. And Jim does an outstanding job as an MC at these events. I've seen a couple that he's done, or participated in a couple that he's done, and he's really good at it. So
Yeah.
this will be a lot of fun. And I can't think of a better group to support, well, besides the Hoagland, but the Muni, and well, all of our local arts groups
Oh
that
yes.
need the support. But Muni is fantastic, and they're not able to do their summer shows this year. So the chance to support them, have some fun, and be around people who appreciate some of the same things that other arts lovers do, that'll be a great experience.
Yes, it will. So that is tomorrow night. So make sure that if you have not signed up for that yet and you wish to, make sure you can go to themuni.org and you can do that. Also, opening today, this is at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum, just a couple, a little down the street there from Hoagland.
Yeah.
you have the State of Sound, a brand new exhibit talking about a whole lot of the different artists, memorabilia, and even some gear, some audio gear that was made in Illinois. And so that opened up today. I got to see a little bit of it yesterday and take some pictures. It is super cool. WMAY has actually been there. Jim has actually done a show or two from there already. So it's been really cool. They got this replica radio studio with all this equipment, and you can do broadcasts from there. You can record there. So it is really cool.
That's exceptional. That's very cool. And of course, that's right up Jim's alley, I'm sure, with the classic rock and roll and the classic music and so forth. And what a nice perk that you have when you're in the media. You get to go see some of these things early. I miss those days. I miss going to get to see things early, but that's a fantastic exhibit. I know Joe Crane was walking through downtown Springfield a couple of weeks ago, handing out posters, and I had the chance to sit and chat with him for a while again in his new position at the museum. And it's going to be an exciting exhibit. And I think it's going to draw a lot of people back out there. It's something very different than they've done in the past, and a different kind of history, if you will, but one that's very popular and one that I'm sure will draw a lot of people, even with the current restrictions.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and of course it is the admission to it is covered with the regular admission price of your ticket, and there is so much history, music history in that, and it's not just there are a couple bands, of course, and musicians that are from Illinois, but it's all sorts of different genres. I mean, there's metal, hip hop. I mean, you name it. I mean, all sorts of different stuff. So there really is. I say a lot, but there's something for everyone there. I mean, there really is. It's super cool. There's all sorts of different. They have headphones that you can plug in and listen to documentaries about soul or about all various different artists that are through there. So it is really something. So if you can get a chance to get out there, I would absolutely recommend it.
It's nice that they change up those exhibits every now and then. Yeah. For the locals who have been there several times, this gives us a great reason to go see the new thing that's down there. And it's always a wonderful experience to go down to the museum and see what's going on, because it's a beautiful facility. It is one of the crown jewels of the city of Springfield.
Yes, absolutely, it is. We got some things coming up as well. Some more things these next couple of weeks. It was brought to my attention very recently, actually. This weekend, Mount Pulaski High School is doing a production of Little Shop of Horrors, a musical we both love and we've both been in. But they are doing it in person, and the characters are masked, distanced, but it's an in-person production. And so, and I know in terms of high school productions, Gil Oferman is also doing a next week, singing the COVID Blues Away, which is an original musical play by him, featuring a lot of Broadway songs. So we are starting to see some of these in-person shows coming back, and it is really exciting.
It really is. And, we're able to do these things now on a very small scale.
Yes.
But I know there was a report from the governor that was in the paper early this week, and I'm sure you guys covered it as well, that we're about to go into the bridge phase between 4 and 5. So that's going to open things up to 60%. So I think you're going to see a lot more of these kind of live events taking place, that they can have more people in the different facilities. One of the things that has been preventing many people from doing that is the limit to 25% capacity or 50 people. And in many cases, it's just not mathematically or economically feasible to do a big show and with just 50 people seeing it. You wouldn't make enough money to cover your expenses. But now with 60% just right around the corner, and maybe by the time people listen to this over the weekend or next week, whenever they check out this podcast, we might already be in the bridge phase. So good changes are coming our way, and it's nice to see groups testing the waters.
Yes, it is, and it is getting there. And yes, like you said, the more people you will go into the shows, and people will, of course, you're saying all sorts of different behaviors. People are picking up with masks and washing their hands more often, and it's more learned behaviors, like you said. We're talking a little bit off the air about this, but
right.
Yeah, so it's going to be yes, things are changing in a positive way. And speaking of in-person productions, the Springfield Theater Center's active Creative Teen Theater put out their the audition information for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, which is going to be their summer show, which will be an in-person production. And it looks like they're going to cast up to 12 people in it. And there is going to be, and there's going to be an in-person show. I assume, depending on where it is, Bridge Phase, whatever we're in, I'm sure it'll be 60%, however many capacity. But yeah, that's going to be another in-person show, and that's going to be in a couple of months. Those auditions are, I believe, in about 2 weeks.
Right. Well, so much can happen in a month.
Yeah.
And so many people can get vaccinated. When you think about it, it was just February where we were going through another spike in cases. Yeah. And now as we end the month of April and go into the month of May, things are looking very, very different. And that's been one of the things that's really surprised me, is how quickly things can change, how they can go from dire to positive pretty fast, and vice versa too, of course. But, we were talking off the air a little while ago about the new normal, as you just mentioned. And many of us have become so accustomed to the new normal and wearing masks and washing hands and keeping your distance a little bit, that these are now habits. After 13 months, these are habits. And habits are hard to break once you've become accustomed to them. But when you think about it, it's not such a bad thing. It might prevent, the common cold and the flu and all those other things. So these are not necessarily things to totally forget about, but that's just one person's opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And we were talking about I left. I cycled through a couple of different masks, but the mask I used a lot. I had left it at home or something, and I was like, oh, good, I have 2 other masks in my car. Having a mask in your car is not something you would have thought of ever probably in your life. And about the masks preventing. I mean, I felt a little sick after my second shot. But aside from some other minor allergies, I haven't been sick this entire past over a year. I mean, the masks really are helping with a lot of things.
They really are. And, I've had a couple of bad experiences getting a cold or some kind of, sinus infection before a show that has really affected my performance in a bad way. And there was a couple of times I can even tell you the person I caught it from. Because you just have that sinking feeling when the person next to you is sneezing and blowing their nose and you're going, I'm going to get that. Oh God, I'm going to get that. I can't. Yep. We've got a week 2 open. I can't get sick right now. And then sure enough, I got sick. But you're right. I haven't been sick in that fashion for over a year. Knock wood. And I hope it continues.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Hoping that continues. Also, a couple of things to be on the lookout for. On May 6th, UIS had their Anne of Green Gables, the recorded production, streamed for a younger performance. And also they have the Chicken Dance coming up on May 6th. That'll be another free performance that you can watch, featuring the music of Elvis Poultry is who was on there. So that's great. That's gonna be a lot of fun for people to watch. And then also Pride Fest is coming up. It's going to be mainly virtual this year, but there are all sorts of different contests that you can take part in. There's the adorable selfie where you have to take pictures in front of different doors around Springfield, different colors of the rainbow, and then you have a chance to win a prize, or a couple of different prizes. And then they will actually also be streamed, I believe, through UIS Studio Theater from about 1 to 7. So that is on the 15th. So several things are still coming up in the coming months.
Yeah. Can you believe Saturday is May 1st?
I can, but I can't.
Yeah. This year has seemed interminable in some ways, but in other ways, it's just flown right by. Yeah. And I can't believe we're in the month of May. And I thought, in January, we've got all the time in the world, but no, you don't. Nope. And that things are moving quickly to getting ready to reopen, and all these, scheduled events. Pride Fest always takes place in May, and that's coming around. And pretty soon we'll be talking about the state fair, which will blow my mind.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, we will. We've been, hearing about it. So that's right. Coming up too, and that'll be it'll be interesting. Well, I guess we'll see in the next couple of months how everything's going to play out there, because I know they're still going to have some concerts there, and I know Stained had to back out, but and I mean that was a scheduling conflict, but I mean, so we'll see if there's going to be, if they're going to do limited capacity, or I don't know what I don't know how you could do that, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, the rules change so quickly that by August we'll have a different set of rules in place.
Yeah.
And I imagine, just common sense tells you that kind of like last year, as we moved into the summer, things were a little better. Not in July so much, but by August it was a little bit better. And I think that's what we'll see again this year. So I think, we're hearing so much about being outdoors and how that's safer than they had anticipated initially, because you've got the great outdoors and all that air circulation. So I imagine a lot of the outdoor events that were canceled last year we'll be seeing this summer.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that is going to be great to see. Things are looking up. They are opening up, and it is, and hopefully this trend continues. So
yeah. What about Broadway? Did you see that big announcement?
I did see that. Broadway, they're looking at, so the big news about New York is opening up. They want to open it up June 1st, I believe, is what they're looking at. And and they
July,
said
I forget.
June or July 1st.
It was July, but it might be June. You're right.
It's probably July. I will look it up right now. But as I'm kind of looking it up here, my mouse is moving very slow. Here we go. Broadway, I think they said they'll probably wait until about September to open up Broadway. And as we've joked, but also we talked about it before, theaters are usually the first to close and last to open in these sort of things. And certainly it'll be, it's interesting that they'll be opening up a little later, but that's what they're looking at. They're putting shows together and saying, hey, we're, doing this.
I question a little bit the 100%.
Yeah.
I think either the mayor or the governor, I think the mayor of New York City was saying they'd open 100% over the summer. I don't know that will be the case. Certainly on Broadway in September, I think they might play it a little safer, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. They're so it looks like is July 1st is when they're going to reopen fully, it looks like. And then they're saying tentatively about mid-September, September 12th, they said, for Broadway to reopen. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Broadway was really very badly affected by COVID-19 when this crisis started. And I'm struck by, what was his name? I've forgotten now. Cordero was his last name. Nick Cordero. Oh, yeah. He was in Bullets over Broadway and Waitress and so many shows. And of course, he lost his battle with COVID and just had a horrible experience. And his poor wife was documenting it on social media as it was going. And, his lungs were like Swiss cheese, and he was looking at a lung transplant. And finally, I think they had to amputate.
They had to amputate his leg, I think, right?
Yeah, and he was a dancer. It was just awful. And Danny Burstein, who was starring in Moulin Rouge, got desperately ill. And they did an article on him in the New York Times, and then a follow-up months later. And he survived, but he had diminished lung capacity. He was exhausted most of the time. And you can't do that when you're playing the lead in a Broadway musical. Nope. Those people are athletes.
No, yeah.
And to have that kind of lung support and that kind of stamina to do that. And if your stamina is compromised, you can't do your work. You can't do your job. So they were really badly. I think 3 or 4 people from Moulin Rouge came down with COVID when that happened. And was it Aaron Treat also had it, I think. I forget some of the details, but they were horribly affected. Many shows were affected in that way. And so they're going to do it right when they come back. They're going to keep their people as safe as possible.
Yes, they will. Absolutely. So yes, it's and you are absolutely right. I mean, singing and dancing in general, but especially, lead, you're doing 8 shows a week. I mean, if you decrease lung capacity, it's it's awful. Like no way you could do that. So So they're looking at a couple of months for that. But then in the meantime, make sure that you are catching all the things going on here in the community. Of course, the murder mystery that is tonight. They got the Muni fundraiser tomorrow. State of the Sound, if you have not yet seen that, well, I guess you wouldn't have as it's opening today, but if you end up going over this weekend or next week, you can go see State of the Sound. Keep those auditions for if you are younger or one of your kids or one of your friends who are younger want to try out for Charlie Brown. That's coming up. Those auditions are coming up. And if you find yourself in Mount Pulaski, I believe they're sold out for tonight, but Little Shop of Horrors that is running this weekend, and then next weekend you can see Singing Away the COVID Blues. So that is all going on. And Gus, thank you so much for joining me, and we will do this again next time.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much, and have a great weekend, and happy May.
Thank you. Yes, happy May.
And I won't see you on this day, but may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you as well. Absolutely.
And happy Cinco de Mayo while we're at it.
And happy Cinco de Mayo. Yes. Wonderful. Absolutely. Right. See you later. It's Bye. Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY.